Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. But for the first time in a good way, up goes Tim Walz. Up goes Tim Walz. Wow. Kamala Harris just picked Tim Walz to be her vice presidential candidate. That is unbelievable. I literally cannot believe it. So, um, look, guys, there's so many things to tell you about here. But first thing I got to tell you is I think she's going to win. Holy cow, I think she's going to win. This is an amazing pick. So I'll get to why I wanted Josh Shapiro in a minute and how thrilled I am that I was wrong. So you don't often hear talk show hosts saying that, but you're going to hear me say that a couple of times here today. But so number one, why do I think she's going to win with Tim Walz? And why do I think he's such a good pick? So I'm going to explain that. But first, remember, guys, we're always live Monday through Friday. When 6 o'clock Eastern. That's right. So make sure you're checking out the live show from the studio tonight because it's going to be gangbusters. We're going to have every detail. Might have little celebrations. This thing is as good a shape as it has ever been. I cannot believe she picked Tim Walz. Okay, so let me go to Josh Harris real quick for a second. I keep calling him Josh Harris. He's driving me crazy. Josh Shapiro. Apparently, that's how sure I was that he was going to be the VP pick, and I was totally wrong. Okay, that's the second time I said it. Okay, so look, one of the reasons I supported Shapiro, okay, is that I thought he really was strong, progressive, courageous. We can go back to that disagreement another day, but right now he's sitting at beautiful 61% in Pennsylvania. He's the governor of Pennsylvania. If you hated his Israel policies, you don't have to worry about it. He's the governor of a state. It's not going to make a difference, right? I thought he could be a rare guy who could actually get to peace in Israel because he loves Israel, because he cares about Israel so much. I know it's counterintuitive for a lot of you. That's Nixon goes to China, but all that stuff is in the past. But one of the top reasons I was backing Shapiro is because I thought there's no way in the world she's going to pick Tim Walz. I know Democratic leadership; they never make the progressive choice, never, right? And so I thought this is a dream of picking Tim Walz. He's way too progressive in Minnesota, and she did it. I'm stunned by that. So I'm thrilled that it's Walz. God bless. And I think and I hope that Governor Shapiro can be helpful in the future. The Democratic Party, the Democratic ticket, maybe even the administration. So maybe who knows? Maybe it'll come back around and he'll help on Israel, and that'll be some sort of redemption, and that would be amazing. But right now, that's not at all important. What's important is, holy cow, she picked the most progressive candidate. I can't believe it. So now the reason it's going to lead to a win is super important. First of all, Luck Dragon 2000, yeah, saying might be the best political decision since Bill Clinton chose Al Gore. Look, brother, I think so. I think that's exactly right. So thank you for the super chat. I'll try to shout those out and shout out members as I do the show and the video live. Hit the join button. God, this is a great day in America, okay? Look at what the TYT Army did. I'll get back to that in a second. Okay, first, why is he going to win? So these are his policies as governor that they think are too liberal, and now they're using the old school word liberal as in progressive, right? And the Trump team says that they're thrilled to have him because he's too far left. Wait till you see this ambush. Okay, so here's his policies. He legalized recreational marijuana for adults. Oh my God, I can't believe that. That's only over 70% of the country agrees with that. Only 98-year-olds disagree with that, and they're cranky old conservatives who are never going to vote for us anyway. Wow, it sounds so unpopular, that progressive position. Hold. James Maddock, you're awesome. Thank you for joining us. Okay. So 1 for 1, well over 7 out of 10 Americans want that. It might even be higher at this point. Absolute win. Please attack him on it. Please look like out of touch idiots. Oh, yeah, say no to drugs. Marijuana will melt your brain. You don't want that. Please make our day. Okay. He's passed a law protecting abortion rights. You really want to fight that fight, brother? Go ahead, Trump. Go ahead, JD Vance. Can't wait. Can't wait. You lean into positions of strength. These progressive positions all poll over 70%. You fight on your moral high ground. Tim Walz understands that. I can't believe she picked him. Okay, hold on. Crystal Sheets, thank you. I see balls to the walls. I get it. I get it. I love our members. 11 here, 3. Thank you for uh uh so okay, yeah, that's true. Hold on. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, Minnesota's going to miss him, but that's okay. There's a Democratic uh, a person who's going to take his place and the lieutenant governor's place. Don't worry. Of course, he's going to help out Minnesota. Don't worry about that. He's a great pick. S2, thank you for becoming a member and being one of the Young Turks that made this possible. Hit the join button below to be one of those speakers. And in fact, I'm going to tell you, like I said, how you guys in the Young Turks audience helped to make this happen. Okay, third thing, expanding LGBTQ protections. Again, the Republicans are going to run into their own rocks here. So what I mean by that is they're like, oh yeah, we'll sail our ships right into that beautiful shore that we see. We'll attack her for being black. I bet that works. We'll attack her for being a woman. I bet that works. Oh, we'll attack this guy for being in favor of LGBTQ rights and equality for all. Have at it, Hoss. I don't think it's going to work for you. This ain't the 1960s, 1950s, 70s, or 80s, or even 90s. Sorry, it's not going to work. So if you think, we'll get him, he doesn't hate gay people. Neither does America. By the way, check those polls. People in favor of absolute equality for LGBTQ folks in America, including marriage equality and every other kind of equality, that also polls over 70%. Have at it, Hoss. And that's why I kept telling Democrats actually lean into progressive policies. Not only are they the correct thing to do, but they're also intensely popular. And Tim Walz gets that. And apparently Kamala Harris gets that. So I'm going to come back to that as well, because Kamala Harris here, and what I was wrong about her is actually the most important, third time, I think. Expanding LGBT. Okay, implementing tuition-free college for low-income Minnesotans. Oh, yeah, giving away free college for poor families so they have the same chance as rich families. Yeah, you sure that that's going to be an effective line of attack? Come and see. Come and see. Okay, I can't wait for Republicans to attack Tim Walz on this stuff. It's going to be amazing. Okay, Juan Alonso, thank you, brother, for the super chat. Kern Lang, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you guys. All right, last one. This is apparently another thing like, oh, he's way too progressive for the country. Providing free breakfast and lunch for school children in the state. Come, Republicans, come and attack us on this stuff. See how it turns out for you. You're going to argue against lunch for poor kids. I shouldn't have any bologna sandwiches. Take that sandwich away from them. We're going to win this election. Are you? Are you? Because I don't think you are. I think this thing's close to over. So I can't believe I'm saying that in favor of the Democrats. All right, now hold on. That's not the only reason why Tim Walz is a great pick. One last one, and then again, so much more on the live show, 6:00 Eastern tonight. And Blush, thank you for the super chat. So on MSNBC in July, Tim Walz started the weird talking point. He's the one who started it. That's actually a really good talking point because he's like, look, man, this isn't about right or left. They just say crazy stuff, and they're just weird. And he's totally right about that. That can go in the wrong direction, as I've said before, but then they haven't taken it in the wrong direction. Another stunning development for the Democrats. They've hit it just right. But in the midst of those appearances, he also said this, which is super telling of how he's going to campaign and how he's going to eviscerate them. He said, quote, as I said, a robber baron real estate guy and a venture capitalist trying to tell us they understand who we are. They don't know who we are. Bingo! Ladies and gentlemen, we got Tim Walz. I cannot believe it. Okay, Kyle F., thank you. And by the way, I'm going to read this because it speaks for me. I supported Shapiro only because I thought Walz had no chance. What is this alternate reality we're living in? Kyle, as a Young Turks member, you speak for me. You're my boss, and we agree. I can't believe it. Okay, so guys, it's going to cause the Republicans to attack on our moral high ground. All those issues poll well over 70%, and they won't be able to help themselves. Number two, that means Kamala Harris is bold, and that's more important than the pick itself. The willingness to be bold, the willingness to pick a progressive. Basically, Tim Walz is a younger, honestly, better fighter, Bernie Sanders, and rural. He's a veteran. He was a high school teacher for like 20 years. He got into politics really late. He's a football coach. He's a rando veteran teacher football coach who's like, now why don't I run for governor, or in the beginning for Congress, and he was there for 5 terms, and then I'll run for governor, and I'll try to do some good things in the world. And he's really great at political line of attacks that I just explained. So look, guys, if you told me when we started this thing about a year ago, they're trying to push Biden out. Remember, at the time, all you Young Turks viewers remember this. At the time, they said it was impossible. No, Biden's the pick. Just shut up and lose and like it. Don't ever question Democratic leadership, they said. We know what we're doing, and Biden is the best Democrat to beat Trump. We said all along that was absurd. You guys signed petitions. You helped my campaign. You did all these things. We fought the impossible fight. And then the first day I told you, it always starts out impossible. And then by the end, it becomes inevitable. And by the end, they go, oh, well, you don't deserve credit for that. That was inevitable anyway. Was it? Was it? I don't remember it being inevitable. Now, having said that, if you told me at the time, don't worry, at the end, the ticket will be Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, I've been like, no, you got that wrong. That couldn't possibly be, right? But if you told me that was really going to be the ticket, I'd have worked. I don't know how I could have worked twice as hard. I think I gave it everything I had. But if I could, I would have worked twice as hard, because that would have meant to me, holy cow, she picked a serious progressive that's actually smart enough to attack on the moral high ground, that's smart enough to do our most popular policies, not our least popular policies, our most popular policies. That means she's the right candidate. Not only is he the right candidate, but by picking her, it proves that she's the right one. Amazing. Okay. Jeff Rywell Stewart, thank you, brother. I appreciate you. You say I fought for our hope, but you fought for our hope. Remember, guys, if you don't back me on anything I do, then I got no power. In fact, there's a good example of that right here in this story. Hold on. Jenny Garnsley, thank you. They call him Happy Warrior. I know. I love it. I love that he's a happy warrior. That's the perfect attitude. Dave Jones, thank you for gifting 5 Young Turks memberships. I'm going to miss a bunch of you guys. I'm sorry about that, but I got to get to the heart of the story. The Transcendental, Twilight Rain, you guys are all awesome. Okay. So, look, I wanted an open convention because I wanted to test the candidate to make sure that we had the best one. And I said, look, I don't mind at all if it's Kamala Harris as long as she's strong enough to pick up the delegates. And honestly, she did pick up the delegates. And I told you that. I said, look, I would have wanted a more full process. I would have wanted it at the convention, but she did vacuum up the delegates in about 24 hours. I mean, max 48 hours. And she did a pretty damn good job. She was very effective. She came out of the gate super strong. It's the old Kamala Harris that everybody thought was going to be the next leader of the Democratic Party all the way up through the first debate of 2020. So she looked good on the campaign trail. She acted strongly to round up the delegates. And then she has the courage to pick Tim Walz. Oh, no, that's the right candidate. Holy cow. So knowing that, I would have been like, oh my God, Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, we got to do anything and everything to get to that ticket. That ticket can win. So where are we today, by the way? Look, I use both the polls and Polymarket as my barometer. And Polymarket is one of our sponsors, but they're also now CNN's using them. Everybody's using them because it's just a prediction market, right? And by the way, you know what happened? Shapiro was all the way up in the 70s, and I thought that made sense. And then Tim Walz started rising. Then he went from the single digits to the 20s. And then last night, Tim Walz took the lead. I don't know what the bettors knew that we didn't know, but he took the lead. And I was like, whoa, that is super interesting. I wonder why that happened. I wonder what some people know that we don't know. Anyway, so that was fascinating. And now for Biden, his chance of winning by the time he dropped out, were in the low 20s. And I even thought that was too high. His own advisors thought that was too high. And now I just checked before the video. Uh, 40 Kamala Harris is at 46%. They've gone from the they basically doubled. They've doubled their chances. And they're just getting started. I'm positive 46 is too low. Polymarket.com. Okay. TYT.com/polymarket. It doesn't matter. Go do whatever you want with it. Okay. I love it. And look, you don't be careful. Be careful. Look, I was just wrong about the VP selection. So don't take my word as gospel. Okay. But do whatever you think is right. But along those lines, look, guys, if like I said, if you don't back me, then I don't have any power. So, for example, on the VP pick, I thought Shapiro was the right pick, but a lot of you thought that Tim Walz was the right pick, and you won. That's awesome. Isn't that great? And see, and I didn't have enough power because I didn't represent you well enough. You see that? And so, and I'm okay with that. I thought that was a principled pick on my part. I believe in that pick, and I think that Governor Shapiro could do amazing things in the future. Okay, but I like that you're independent minded, and I love that you were right. Okay, when we combine our forces in driving Biden out, nobody can stop us. It doesn't matter. Oh yeah, the people on mainstream media don't know you well enough, or the people in the Democratic Party never listen to progressives. Although now all of a sudden they do. All of a sudden they do. So when we're combined, the Young Turks audience and us, oh, we can change the world, guys. I mean, what was the thing I launched right before the presidential campaign? Operation Hope. And I said, we're going to find hope out of no hope. Do you feel hopeful today? I hate to say it, but told all of a sudden, hope. Oh, beautiful hope. Beautiful hope. Partly brought to you by the beautiful Young Turks audience. I love you guys. Okay. So now, last couple of things here. First of all, back to Trump czar, brothers. Okay. Trump czar. Okay. What does that mean? That means let's go kick some Trump ass. Okay. Because now that we got a progressive VP and we got a candidate at the top of the ticket that is bold, smart, and is willing to fight those fights on progressive ground. Oh my God. Yes. So the outsider candidates, I love you, brothers and sisters. Thank you for trying, but I'm done with that. Uh, and look, nobody hears people out more than I do. Okay, we heard everybody out. Jill Stein, Cornel West, RFK Jr. I interviewed all of them. Okay, if she'd gone in a more conservative direction, she'd gone in a more disastrous direction. I'm not, oh, rah cheerleader for the Democrats. I'll do anything for the Democrats, even if they're completely wrong. No way. But isn't it beautiful when Democrats are right? So let's go. Let's kick some Trump ass. And we're perfect timing. We just started Trump brackets. So that's the craziest, dumbest thing Donald Trump has ever done. That's going to be a doozy. We asked for nominations from you guys. You submitted hundreds of nominations, right? So we're going to winnow it down to 64 so we can do a March Madness style brackets. So help us do that right now. Some of those polls are launched already. You pick 3 out of the 10, and that creates our seedings for us. It's a fun little game. So go to TrumpBrackets.com and then hit pick 3. So you can, in each of those little polls of 10 crazy things he's done, pick the top 3. And Tim Walz will help us. Okay. He's an ass kicker. So it's going to be great to work with a guy like Tim Walz. And then finally, for now, and then remember, of course, live shows at 6:00 Eastern. We're going to have all the details for you guys. But guys, Tim Walz might bring the progressive brand back. That's how strong he is. So, because the progressive brand got hurt by a lot of different things, but including focusing on some issues that were not that popular and that we've had the courage to talk about on the Young Turks. And I said, for God's sake, focus on the issues that are super popular, both economically, like the free tuition for lower income families for college. That's an economically populist position. Paid family leave. Paid family leave. He did it in Minnesota. There's no reason why please attack us on paid family leave. I'm begging you, Republicans. And you know they're that stupid. You know they're going to make that mistake. It's going to be beautiful, right? Maybe at the national level, if Kamala picked him, maybe he leads the charge to actually get these things passed at the national level. Paid family leave It's I know it's the bare minimum, but they can't even do the bare minimum. Maybe he can help them do the bare minimum. Maybe she will actually try to pass real laws that help us when she's in office. Oh my God, I feel hope. I can't believe I feel hope. So, guys, this is going to be, let's see how it turns out. You never know. There's always bumps in the road. All that, all those caveats. But for Tim Walz to be called a progressive by the entire media, and then have them talk about the laws that he passed and how progressive those were. All those laws were intensely popular. Now the progressive brand is going to be associated with things that are intensely popular, just like we've always wanted and dreamt of. All it took was one Democrat, I kept saying, to actually do these things and then be attacked for it, because that's what creates the controversy, the issues. And then people go, oh, wait, why are we against free school lunches for poor kids? Why are we against a free college education to brilliant young kids who happen to be low income? Why are we against moms taking time off after having a baby? Once they start asking those questions, progressives are going to win and win and win. So, okay, I don't want to get too hopeful because, but that's beautiful. Rashad Aman, thank you for joining. Look at all these great new Young Turks. All right, guys, let's go fight. Let's go win. This is one of the best days in politics in my lifetime. And as I said, a part of the reason I backed Shapiro is because I thought there's no way in the world a Democrat picks someone as progressive as Tim Walz. And so I didn't want her to go, oh, then forget it. I'll just go to Mark Kelly or Pete Buttigieg. Oh my God, it could have been Pete Buttigieg. It could have been corporate Lego man. Instead, it's Tim Walz, the progressive ass kicker. Beautiful day in America. Beautiful. What is that? Is that blue I see? Is that hope I feel? All right. I'll see you on the Young Turks tonight, like I do every night.